The moment the door closed behind her, Sarah felt time itself hold its breath, because she had finally returned to the place she'd sworn she'd never go back to. That silent apology to the house she once called home, to the echoes of her childhood laughter, and to the person she used to be, it all rushed in and broke her open before she even walked through the threshold. Free, the return. Sarah stepped onto the faded doorstep of the house where she grew up. Every peeling paint chip, every creaking floorboard seemed to whisper memories she had tried to bury. The joyous summers chasing fireflies in the backyard, her father's soft laughter at breakfast, her mother's gentle humming as she cooked. But also, the nights when the house seemed too quiet, the fights that she'd hoped were over, the painful moment when she packed her bag and left at 19, riding off into a new life with dreams bigger than this small town. When she returned after 10 years away, she carried more than just a suitcase. She carried hopes and regrets, successes and scars. She had built a life elsewhere, a city skyline that dazzled, a job she'd worked hard for, an independence she'd claimed with pride. Yet as she stood there looking at the door she once pushed open as a child, she asked herself, what am I really running from? 2. The ghosts of yesterday inside. The house smelled of old memories. The living room sofa still had the indentations of her younger siblings. It seemed that time had paused here. She found a photo on the mantel, her with Dad, both of them laughing, a summer picnic in the distance. She felt something break inside. Grief, longing, love. Her father, now older and quieter, appeared at the doorway. "Welcome home, Sarah," he said simply. His voice held years. Years of waiting, of wondering, of hoping she'd come back when she was ready. Not just in body, but in heart. Sarah's mother, gentler now, quieter now, embraced her. "We've missed you," she whispered. The words were soft, but they hit like thunder. Sarah realized that while she had been building her future, her home had been patiently holding the pieces of her past. Then came the moment she dreaded, her younger brother Michael, the one she left behind in pursuit of something greater. He opened his bedroom door with hesitation, avoided her eyes for a moment, then asked, "Why did you leave? Didn't I matter?" Sarah's chest tightened. She had left so many things unsaid. She had left hurt behind. She realized for the first time how much she owed those wounds. 3. The challenge of reconnection. Over the next few days, Sarah tried to reconnect. She took her niece and nephew to the backyard, tried to recapture firefly nights, but caught only her reflection in the glass of a window. She tried to sit with her parents but was haunted by her own success stories. They felt hollow. Her city life, her achievements. They no longer felt like wins, because winning had meant leaving, and leaving meant losing something vital. Michael stayed distant. He spoke with polite civility, but the hurt in his eyes reminded her that absence is not just physical, it's emotional. He had grown up without her guidance. She had missed his graduation, his first job, his heartbreak. He asked her questions she didn't know how to answer. "Are you proud of me?" she fumbled. "Why didn't you call more?" she choked. And then, the greatest challenge, a medical emergency. Her father collapsed on his way to water the garden. The ambulance ride, the hospital corridor, the fear she felt. This broke everything. She sat at his bedside, holding his hand, and the roles reversed. He was the child now, she the adult, still trying to catch up. In those hours as machines beeped and her family gathered, Sarah realized that time doesn't wait. The things we push off, the relationships we postpone, sometimes demand us. They demand courage, presence, truth. 4. Facing the truth. She sat by her father's side, her mother sleeping in the other room, Michael pacing the hallway. Sarah reached across and squeezed her father's hand. "Dad, I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry I didn't see you. I'm sorry I stopped being your daughter the way I should have been." Her father opened his eyes weakly, offered a small smile. "You came back. That's what matters." And Sarah knew he was right, but she also knew coming back without change wasn't enough. She needed to change inside, to forgive herself, to rebuild trust, to let love in. Michael appeared then. Sarah stood emotionally raw. "I missed you, sis." he said simply. I almost stopped believing you'd come back. She embraced him. I'm here now. I'm staying. The hospital became a bridge. Late nights talking in the waiting room, old stories shared, new confessions made. They watched sunsets from the rooftop. They laughed again. They cried. They remembered the sister-brother duo who once built fantasies of heroes and adventures. They made new ones. Her mother joined the rooftop one evening with tea. They looked at the stars and Sarah said, I thought success meant leaving, but the greatest success is coming home. To love, to being loved. Her mother nodded, tears in her eyes. V, healing and rebuilding. After her father recovered, Sarah made decisions. She found part-time consultancy in town, allowing her to stay close. She helped Michael set up his small graphic design business. She and her parents planted a garden together, watered not just plants but relationships. There were days when the old fear crept back, fear of staying, fear of failing again. But each time it came, Sarah would remember the hospital hallway, the tear in Michael's eye, her father's quiet affirmation. She chose presence, she chose love. And sometimes she'd look at the photo on the mantle, now updated with new laughter, new memories, and she'd whisper, we're okay now. Because they were, not perfect, not untouched by time, but okay. 6. The inspiring message. Sarah's journey isn't about leaving or succeeding in the typical sense. It's about coming back to ourselves, to our roots, to the people who matter, before time slips away. It's about understanding that sometimes the bravest thing isn't moving on, but moving home. Moving not just in space, but in heart. If you've been running from a place, a person, a responsibility, remember, going forward sometimes means turning around. Healing requires presence. Love demands courage. And the greatest victories are not trophies on shelves, but open arms welcoming us back and the strength to stay. So when you look at your own life, ask, what have I left behind that needs me now? Who is waiting? What story can I finish? Not with a goodbye, but with a return. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the city you build, the accolades you collect, or the distance you cover. It's about the hearts you reconnect with, the roots you honor, and the love you let in. And like Sarah, you too can come home and find that there, in that quiet place, you were always rich.